All right, you guys, I'm a little sad making this video. I'm not going to lie to you. This is the last worksheet we're going to do and that you're going to go through. You are likely not crying the same tears that I am, but I love statistics. I love doing this stuff with you guys. I'm going to miss this. But here is the final worksheet. This is the practice worksheet for the second exam on statistics, where you are going to examine and practice how you calculate out a few different statistics. So what you want to do in this one is I've gone one step further from the last worksheet that you outlined, and not only have I given you no information down there, but I also haven't even told you what kind of analysis you're going to conduct. So the goal for this sheet is a fewfold. One, you're going to read each story problem along with the data that comes with it. And what you want to do is first decide what kind of ANOVA design is needed for this study. And then you're going to use it to compute. So once you do that, you're going to then take a look at the very bottom of this thing, scroll all the way down there. And what you'll see that I've done is I've given you tables for each of the three different types of ANOVA designs that will show up on this test. One way between subjects ANOVA, your basic ANOVA. A one way within subjects ANOVA, in which each participant takes each condition once. And a two way between subjects ANOVA, in which participants are divided into groups according to two different factors or experimental interventions. So what you need to do is to read each story problem and decide which of these it's going to be. And then use the data here to decide how you go about calculating the appropriate sum of squares. So for one of these, you're going to have to, for a one-way between, you're going to have to calculate sum of squares between, within, and total. If it's a one-way subjects within, one-way within subjects, what you're going to have to do is calculate not only sum of squares between and total, but also here, remember the sum of squares for subject and the sum of squares for error. And if it's a two-way between subjects ANOVA, you'll have to calculate out a between group score for each of factor A and factor B. You'll still have this error term and the total term, but then you'll also have an interaction term that's going to tell you whether or not one factor is interacting with the other to change scores. Once you decide which kind of ANOVA it's going to be, then you're going to go up and you will, first of all, translate the data into each one of these blocks. This is for one of them. I can go all the way up to the top here. So you'll translate the data down in, use as many or as few squares as you think you need. So how do we put all this data in here? How should you label each one of these axes or groups? And then what should go up on top? Again, first you're going to start with what kind of sum of square are you calculating in the first place? And then you'll need to know what to put up top so that you get at the end to your squares. This last column should involve the squares, the sum of squares, so that when you get to the bottom, when you sum them all up, you can get the sum of squares, whichever it is, between, within, error, factor A, factor B, etc. So you're going to do that and use as many or as few tables as you need to do that. And then you're going to create an ANOVA summary table for that, using however many columns and rows you need. Next, you'll find the critical values. You'll say what your decisions are statistically, and then you'll want to interpret your result for each one. So I've given you three different story problems. That top one, I've given you this one as well. And notice here, this is, you want to be sure you read the instructions so you can best interpret this table. And I've given you one last one down here, and that should look a little familiar. If you have questions about it, you can always send me a message. But otherwise, I look forward to talking about it in class and celebrating our final statistics moments together. All right, good luck, you guys. We'll see you in class.